OCM Naskalchashem Sinasnat Marco Hatch. Hello, friends and relatives. My name is Marco Hatch. I'm a member of the Samish Indian Nation, and I will be your faculty for SALI 201, Introduction to the Salish. This is the first time this course has been offered. Natalie Bloy and myself co-taught it last quarter in the trial version of 297, which is slightly different. It was a 5 credit instead of a 4 credit. But going forward, SALI 201 is going to be a 4 credit. This is the online version. There'll be an in-person version offered, typically in the spring quarter. I just want to take a few minutes and go over the syllabus and go over the course structure. In all transparency, this is the first time I've taught online, so any feedback or expectations is going to be super helpful and super useful, and I'll try to tailor it to your needs. You can see I have our Canvas website up right now, and it's not completely filled out. I'm still generating content. But in general, the modules are broken down into weeks. I've filled in all of the major assignments so far, and I'll be adding readings and lecture content over the next couple days, trying to stay about a week or two ahead. This is a 4 credit class offered over 6 weeks, and so that relates to a fair amount of work per week, and so I want to just think about that and think about your weekly workload and the amount of time you're doing to the course. It will take a fair amount of time. I'll post probably on the range of 4 lectures a week, ideally shooting for kind of 20 to 30 minute chunks. When this class is offered in person, it's 2 2-hour lectures, and that typically is broken down to also talking about the assignments, doing reflections, and doing some reading discussion. So to mimic that, we'll have, again, about 4 or so short lectures, kind of half-hour max, and then a number of things to do every week. Typically an activity of some sort, watch a video, explore something on a website, come back, report out, 1 or 2 readings a week, in addition to the kind of major assignments. For week 1, I'm asking you to explore the Salish minor and see if there are courses there that are of interest, or if there's courses you've already taken. There's a survey that is really going to help me tailor this class, asking questions about how you're going to engage in the content, what are your expectations, things like that. And then a reading by Joe Gatos et al. About the 10 principles for designing healthy coastal ecosystems. In addition to this, I'll post a few lectures here and kind of fill out week 1. Jumping over to the syllabus. The first thing you'll see is my office hours are Wednesday between 11 and 2 via Zoom. Can be available outside of those times. You're probably better emailing me to see that, but right now I've dedicated between 11 and 2 to be available via Zoom. All you have to do is click on this link, and you can set up a 15-minute meeting with me. Just pick whatever day you want, what time, confirm it, enter in your name and email address, hit schedule, and it'll send both you an email and me an email with a link to the Zoom. So all you have to do is click on that link once you get it in your email. So it's super easy, super effective, a great way if you want to just set up some time to talk about one of the assignments, have any additional questions, need any additional resources. It can be a video or just an audio. You can also, we can set up a phone call if that works easier, if you don't have internet access. Or there's a couple other ways to connect. I think you can actually phone in for a Zoom as well. This is an online course. I set assignments and quiz due dates. Working on 2 lectures per week, which again will be broken down in smaller chunks, so you don't have to sit through an hour plus video. Activities and readings. A bit about the course and the objectives of the course. This is the foundational course for the Salish minor, and so this is a minor to kind of share and talk about the Salish from since time immemorial, meaning since people arrived on the landscape up through now and then through the future. And so it's designed as a 200 level class as a survey course. And so we're going to touch on a whole bunch of things, but not go into really great depth on any one of them. Throughout the minor, there are other courses built in that give you that depth. So if you see a lot of topics that you're really excited about, that's where looking at the other courses in the minor really makes sense, and seeing what other classes you can take to kind of deepen that knowledge. But here we're just trying to get everybody familiar, kind of on the same page about the Salish. The assessment, the grading part, it's out of 1,000 points. There are learning activities, again, like there are going to be one a week or so, worth 10 to 20 points. Watch a video, give some comments on it, explore a website, that kind of thing. Online discussions, these are mostly based on the reading. Those are going to be 10 to 20 points. I'll try to give you some prompting questions, but you can go beyond that as well. And there I'm just looking for that participation. So those are both graded more or less on a binary scale. Did you engage in the content and provide some thoughts about it? If yes, then you get full points. If no, then you don't. 2 check-in quizzes, 50 points each. Those will be 60-minute timed quizzes. Right now they're set up to be only available on one day, and I'll probably change that so they're available for a longer period. But the intention is you open the quiz, you have 60 minutes to complete it. You can use notes and whatever you wish, but you have to start and finish within 60 minutes. There are 3 assignments, and for each of these assignments I'm also doing these are screencast-o-matics, I'm doing another screencast-o-matic for each one, where I go through that assignment in detail and give you some directions. For the species story and the timeline, you'll have assigned topics. For the species story, you're assigned a species, and for the timeline, you'll be assigned a subtopic, a topic and a subtopic below that. Things like orca whales, and there'll be 4 subtopics below that. So 4 people will be assigned orca whales, each of which will have a separate sub-theme, so you can kind of communicate and share about that. The letters to leaders is an assignment where you write 1 letter to a decision maker in the US and 1 to a decision maker in BC about a similar issue. So if there's a change in salmon regulations in Washington you feel passionately for or against, you'll communicate that in a fact-based fashion, and the same for a leader in British Columbia. The final portfolio, I'm likely going to make this a resubmission of one of your prior 3 assignments. So if you didn't get a lot of time to put the detail you wanted to for one of the assignments, say the timeline, and you received a grade that's less than what you like, you can revise that assignment, resubmit it, and I'll assess that again and increase the grade for the final. If you do all 3 assignments and they're all super great and you're happy with them, then you can just resubmit one of them and you'll get that same grade for a total of 1,000 points. There's also extra credit, which I'll jump back to in a second here, but I'll try to circle back around to that. Here's our typical kind of grading. 94 and above is an A. And that's one type of extra credit that really has, in the past, helped students roll from a 93.5 up to a 94. All the readings we do, we try to balance between U.S. authors and Canadian authors, as well as Indigenous authors as well. So I bring a pretty good balance for the type of readings we'll be doing. This is kind of boilerplate for resources available on campus. In the week 1, structure is still getting filled in, the course structure, but there's some kind of basic themes here about how we look at the Salish Sea, looking at who, what is the Salish Sea, who's in the Salish Sea, where is it, when, looking at the Salish Sea through time, and how and why. And so we'll have those themes throughout the weeks, but I'm primarily right now have the course built around weekly modules. And I'll try to tie everything link everything into these weekly modules. For the extra credit, I believe that's under assignments, extra credit. So here's an example of the way one of the assignments will look. So here's an assignment for extra credit. The basics of these extra credits are if you do a thing, go to a beach cleanup, any sort of activity related to SALI, and do a small write-up, half page, third page, just a small reflection, you can get 5 points per event. You can do up to 4 events for a total of 20 points extra credit. If you're unable to engage in those events, there's also a whole bunch of great videos I've linked to down here, including a seminar series the SALI Institute did around the SALI and the SALI speakers at Northwest Indian College. You can watch those videos at your leisure, do a small write-up there. And for these sorts of assignments, what I'll do is do an overview video here with a link to the screencast-o-matic. So there'll be the written description and then also a link showing a video going through the assignment in greater detail. The same is also true for the species story. So there's a screencast-o-matic that goes through the species stories in greater detail, showing how to search the literature, showing an example of one that I like and things I like and things I don't like about it. So it's for sure worth watching those. For the modules, I will try to link those in here. So here's the species story screencast and the species story itself. All of the screencasts are also available under this link here. So you can see I did one on the minor, one on the species story, and one on the extra credit. So they're always available here, and I will try to put them in their proper module as well. So after recording this screencast-o-matic, I'll do some additional ones for the lectures for this week and next week. These other activities are pretty self-explanatory. This introductory surveys worth 20 points, and you're not graded. It's just the survey. What's your name? Have you lived in the SALI? Have you taken an online course? What did you like? How are you going to be accessing this material? Things that can help me tailor the content to serve you better. So if there are any questions, email is great. Try to use my proper email, marcohatch@wwu. The email through Canvas is not the best, as well as you can always set up a Zoom with me. So I'm excited for this course. Again, it's the first time I've taught online, and so I need a little bit of direction and feedback on things like assignment due dates. Are you going to be out of town or away from the internet for blocks of time? Things like that. So in general, the purpose of online education is to provide that flexibility. So let me know what I can do to help make that as smooth as possible. I'm excited for this course, and I think it's hopefully going to be quite popular and informative at Western. So again, thank you for devoting some summertime to learn about the SALI, and I hope it's enjoyable. Thank you.